Hey guys, Harv here. Welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be going through getting into some C# coding. This is totally optional, you don't have to do any of this. This is for more advanced mods, stuff that's a bit more complicated. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead, first of all, make a new folder. That is the first step. So village tutorial mod. Usually the standard is to slap square brackets DLL in front of this. This just signifies that it's part of like C# code, C# mod. So obviously the first thing we have to do, create a manifest.json file. Actually, I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna copy the old one over to here. Gonna open this up. And now you can see that this is open. I'm gonna go here and remove the part about content patcher. Replace all that and put in this part that says entry DLL : and then the name of the DLL. So DLL is just a C# mod file. It's a compiled file with all of your code in it. So we're going to go ahead and rename this to so actually call this whatever your .dll file is whenever we're done, but for now I'm just going to call this village.dll. Right, and then the next thing we have to do, we have to go into Visual Studio. Not Visual Studio Code, make sure it's Visual Studio. Press here on the right, create a new project. Class library, select that one. And then call it, I'm calling it village, but you can call it whatever you want. Make sure the name matches this. Put DLL in front of this here so that Smappy knows that it's a different mod to the content patcher aspect that we created. Create this here. For framework, it might not show all these. If it shows .NET 5.0, that's what you need, so select that one. If not, I'm going to show you how to change it. Just select any of them. Okay, so as we can see, it's made as a basic class file. Now for this tutorial, you are going to need some understanding of basic C# and basic syntax and basic like programming knowledge. If you don't, I'd recommend going on a site and learning some of it, or you can just follow along from this video, but it might make it a bit harder. So if you didn't have .NET 5.0, go ahead and double click here, this little C# sign, and then it should say whatever the name of your project is. Double click that, it'll open the .cs proj file, and it should look something like this. It might say something like net 4.5.2. Just go ahead and just change it to net 5.0, and that should work. Close that off, and now we're in our class here. What exactly do we do from here? Because there's nothing here, it's just blank. First of all, for basic standard, we're going to rename this to modentry.cs. It's going to ask us if we want to change the name of the class, so put yes. Okay, now we've got this. And we need to import the main entry part of the mod. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. This is on the mod structure part of the wiki for C# mods. Go ahead and open up our mod again. Delete all this, we don't need that. Replace it with that. You see here, we've got the type or namespace names Stardew modding API could not be found, blah blah blah. This is because we haven't imported the NuGet package, so we're going to go Tools, NuGet Package Manager, go to Manage NuGet Packages for Solution. You see here it says nothing installed, so if we go to Browse, here it is. I think, yeah, mod build config. Select your project here. Make sure it's set to whatever the latest one is. For me, that's 4.0.2, which was uploaded October 10th, a few days ago. Install that. Should load it in. Then when we go back in here, that should all be working. And now we have this basic class set out. Now you might be looking at this and thinking, I don't know what this is. I don't know what some of this does. Don't worry, I'm going to go through it. But just make sure underneath this using Stardew Valley API thing you put using capital S system and then a semicolon at the end. So this is how all mods exist. This is what the mods are in C# form. This just says that you're using the SMAPI library. I'm going to label all this so you can refer back to it throughout the video. Using system, using the base C# library, system library. Public class, if you're not familiar with object-oriented programming, a class is just a container of different data and code. So defines a class that SMAPI can reference. Don't worry if you don't understand all of this, if you're not into coding and stuff. You can just carry on following along with the actual tutorial. You don't have to worry about most of this. And this creates entry function SMAPI can call to start the mod, passing in a mod helper. So we have our entry function. This is where all the code starts for our mod. So we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into it. On the wiki, you can see there's these things called events. Events are just when something happens in the game, like maybe that's every frame, or maybe that's every time you warp, or something happens, then an event is called for these specific circumstances. Asset requested, the screen's being rendered, or an update is ticked, which just means a new frame's passed, or the game's launched, or the day's ending, or whatever. Then an event is called, and you can attach your own code to each one of these events. So every time something happens, it'll run your code. So we're going to go ahead and set one up. Helper, which is the iMod helper that SMAPI's passed in for us to help. Helper.events.gameloop.update ticked plus equals add a new function. You can press tab to insert there, apply, and you can see it's automatically imported this for us, this function. You can get rid of this bit in the middle here. Now we can put whatever we want in here, literally anything we want. This, whatever we put in here, will happen every frame. So if we wanted every frame to check if game1, which is the the main Stardew game instance, if game1 dot player dot name equals if the player's name is XX Harsback XX, then put a HUD message This is just an example, you don't have to follow along with this. Add a new HUD message, which is the little boxes that appear in the bottom left of the screen. Add a new HUD message, hello friend. And that will happen every frame, so it would probably either crash the game or lag the game or just mess up the game in some way. But this is a basic example of how to use code. You can find lots of different things you can do in these in the API reference here. So input, you can check if a button's pressed, etc. There's also logging, which is this.monitor.log. So if I wanted to put this after, I can do monitor.log displayed HUD message, and that will show in the Smappy console that shows up when you launch the game. It will show displayed HUD message every frame if this is true. So it's just a basic example of what you can do with code. So we're going to go ahead and delete this and actually do something sort of functional. So a common one I like to use a lot is the last one we just used, but there's another one which is good called events.player.warped plus equals player underscore warped, which is a thing that's automatically created for us, which is good. So we can see here there's two arguments being passed in by this function. See object sender, we don't have to worry about that one at all. It doesn't really do anything at this level. But we can also see here there's a warped events arg e, and this is just all the arguments being passed in from this event. It might sound complicated, but it's really simple, trust me. So if we look at this, check if e dot new location dot name equals whatever the name of your location you made was. So mine was custom underscore village. If the new location is our location, we can do game1 dot HUD messages dot add, and then make a new HUD message, new HUD message brackets, and then type in a message. So welcome to village. There's some extra arguments here you can see. So there's the message that we've added, and then there's also a color, the time it stays on for, whether it's an achievement, and there's also what type. So if I want to go through what type, which is the most common one I use, you can do HUD message dot achievement type, which will show the little star icon, or HUD message dot error type. There's actually a thing you can refer to for this. If I go to the HUD messages section here, there's a picture of them here you can refer to on the video if you just want to pause and have a look which one you want to use. That's type 5, that's type 4, that's type 3, that's type 2, and that's the achievement one I was talking about. So if we now test this, which I'm not going to because it's going to take a while for me to compile it and whatever, if we tested this, this would, when we walk into the village, it would show the HUD message saying, welcome to blah-de-blah village. But how is it going to do this? It needs a manifest. And if we go back to this folder, all we have is the manifest and not the actual mod. So if we copy this manifest here and paste it into our solution here, it's been copied in. It's perfect. That's everything we need. Let's press build in the top here, and then press build solution. And this is now building our mod. It's compiling it into a DLL. And now if we go to our Stardew folder, right click, browse local files, go to our mods, see it's automatically been compiled for us here, village. You can see it's got a .dll and a .pdb. You don't have to worry about the .pdb. I'm just going to delete this for now. Don't have to worry about .pdb, but the .dll is the actual code. It's automatically pasted in our manifest and everything, so we don't have to worry about that either, which is perfect. So I'm just going to import the other part of the mod that we made. Copy this in. I also need to copy in content patcher, so I'm going to do that. So that's ours. What wait, I'm going to get console commands as well. So that's the mods that we need. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the game and we'll test out, see if this works. I've done something wrong here, hang on. It's because I've set the unique ID the same. Sorry about that, guys. So just change this to village DLL because it needs the unique ID to be the same. Otherwise, it's going to think you've got the same mod installed twice. That's my bad. So now, if we go ahead and launch it, it should work. Oh, okay. It's still not working now. Okay, it should work now. Sorry about that one, guys. Just make sure you change the unique ID, otherwise Swap is going to think it's the same mod. So I'm just going to go ahead and load up a random file. Okay, as you can see, we're in. So I'm going to go ahead, open up the console, teleport to the location we made. Yep, as you can see, it's worked. Here's our NPC from last time, Diana. Here are all the trees we added as well. It's playing the music we added, and as you can see a second ago, it showed our HUD message. So everything's working perfectly. We go back into the code here. You can literally do anything you want. So playing around with the events, .game loop update ticked plus equals, and it'll make a new one. You can put in, say, I don't know, game1.player items, which is their inventory, plus equal, and then I'm going to do plus equals new item, or rather list of items, and put in a new item, new list of items, and then the thing can contain, wait, no, dot add, there we go, sorry. So dot add, and then new item, no, not item pedestal, item, sorry, new object then, new Stardew Valley dot object, gonna put in an ID, which is what we need. So if I go back on here, back on the index, back down to items, I think it should have all the items. Okay, apparently not. You can look at your list that you extracted and do anything you want. I'm just going to do a random one for now. 24. Initial stack, which is how many you're going to get. So put 1 or whatever you want. I don't know. False. So that's going to give you whatever 24 is. I don't know. It's going to give you 1 of it, and it's not a recipe. Just put false there. So if we go ahead and build this again and launch our game and try it, we should see nothing's happening yet because we're not in the location. But when we go to don't know why it's typing so slow. put that in. Put us in. And something's lagging the game out, which means I've done something wrong, probably. Yeah, I've done it on every update. Like an idiot. Oh, there we go. Full of parsnips. Well, that's because I'm an idiot and forgot to add if game on. Seems like my computer's being slow for some reason. But you get the gist. I don't know what's going on. My computer's lagging for some reason. I don't know what's going on right now. But you get the gist. So just play around with the code. If you have any questions, you can always comment or send me a message on Discord, or message the fine folks over at the Stardew Valley modding Discord, or the fine folks on the #MakingMods channel on the normal Stardew Valley Discord. There's plenty of places you can go for help, plenty of guides on the wiki, but there's plenty of stuff for you to play around with there. If you have questions, obviously feel free to ask me as per usual. But other than that, I think that would be all this video. I hope you guys have found this video beneficial. Hope you guys understand how to start making a C# mod a bit more now. Until next time, that will be all. See you in the next video, and have a good week.